I don't have a connection that I know of. I mean, it's a small town, and even if you look at the film and Sterling Silliphant went to USC and stuff like that, so I'm sure that there's some stuff there I know. I'm sure one of my mentors or
Small
something
world.
had some.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. But as far as like my personal life, I had no connection to him. How I got into it is actually all documented like on my timeline because I did this film called Broadcast Yourself, and people kept writing in the comments like there were like at least three or something that kept saying like masterpiece. This is that piece of, like they just kept using the word masterpiece and saying the word master. And I think someone did like had a Bruce Lee gif connected, and I just started. Oh, and somebody wrote something had to do with Bruce Lee, and I just started to connect the two. And I was like, so I wrote like, I think I might study a real master next because I know where I'm going, and I love studying great people and people who are doing interesting things and have done interesting things. So, I know I wanted to spend time, with someone like that for my next piece, especially with coming off of one that was so intense. So I was like, okay, let me kind of do one that's going to help me rebalance and just kind of refocus. And so I still didn't have clearance though. I posted because I hadn't shared really my process that much before. And with Broadcast Yourself, I did a podcast going through my process, and it was like 2 hours long. And I uh, got bored editing it like 10 minutes in. So I was like, well, they're not going to get this. And so with this one, I'm like, well, since they know what I'm working on now, and I'm not going to want to deal with it once I'm done with it, let me keep, take people along on the journey of creating this Bruce Lee film. So, I get all the books I need. And with Bruce Lee, with any of them, if with any of this, of the research you're doing with any of these films, which is a lot, like I'm reading a lot of books. I'm reading everything that's out there. I'm watching every document. I'm doing all that kind of stuff. A lot of things are out of print, so you're spending 100, or more just for a book on that. You're just videos that it looks like that people who ran with them made. Like it looks like they just asked somebody on Venice Beach, "Hey, could you film me while I talk about my experience with Bruce Lee?" Like all these things, the whole ecosystem of 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 Bruce Lee, to where it's like I know what everything's gonna say before it's said, everything he wrote, all that. I'm still getting to know it, and and waiting to see if I'm gonna get clearance to tell this man's story, because you just can't do it without that, in my opinion. And so I finally get the clearance, and then it's like, okay, it's go time, and yeah, then it's time to write.